everyone, welcome back to another episode of the Home Show Unlimited. And for today's episode, we have a very special guest with us. He's an architect and the CEO of Italpinas Development Corp. Please help me welcome Mr. Romolo Nati.
Hi. Good morning or good afternoon. I don't know what time is it there.
Hello,
Thank you
Mr.
for
Nati.
inviting me. Yep.
Yes, I'm happy to have you here. So apparently you are in Italy right now.
Correct, yes.
So I've been wanting to ask you this question ever since I came to know you about 10 years ago when I started in the real estate industry. Why Cagayan de Oro? Why did you choose to become a developer here in CDO versus other countries or other cities?
Okay, thank you for this question. Back in 2009, when we incorporated the company together with my partner, Giorgio Leviste, we were very clear in our value propositions. We wanted to design and build green buildings, certified green buildings at an accessible price in emerging cities in the Philippines. So during that year, we have been traveling quite a lot the Philippines to find the best place to start our project. And after several months, we have decided to start in the island of Mindanao, which is, as you know, I'm sure, a very rich island in many ways, with agricultural products and minerals, and also many universities in the island and beautiful places. So in Mindanao, we have been visiting Davao, Jensan, and Cagayan, and then we decided to start in Cagayan because we found the city extremely progressive, university cities with the presence of very beautiful and well-known universities. Plus is really considered the hub of northern Mindanao. Being located on northern Mindanao, it represents the gate from the Visayas and Luzon to Mindanao, and the gate from Mindanao or Misamis to Visayas and Luzon. So it was clear to us at the time that Cagayan would have been grown as a city, and that's what happened eventually. And plus, I would say the very good welcome that we got from the people in Cagayan. As you know, Cagayan is known to be the city of golden friendship, and I can prove that. It's really like that. So when you do business, it's really very important the people you are working with, all the stakeholders and partners, and of course the market. And so these are some of the reasons why we started in Cagayan.
And that was 10 years ago, and I think you have become validated with your choice in choosing Cagayan de Oro because it's on track to becoming the fourth metro city in the Philippines by 2025.
Correct. You said it well. I mean, we were right at that point in time, and it wasn't easy because when we were showing our projects, our plan to potential investors in Metro Manila, they were skeptics about us developing a so advanced, I would say, project, which is Primavera Residences, the first condominium and green buildings in Mindanao, and one of the first in the Philippines. They were saying, in Cagayan is a province, they will not be able to appreciate this project. And the reason why they were telling us there are no condominiums there is because there is no demand. We were saying, actually, maybe it's the opposite. There is no demand because there is no condominium.
That actually leads me to my next question. Why did you decide to develop a condominium? Because at the time, 10 years ago, the market was really not yet ready for a condominium. Because there was still a lot of land. Even now, there's still a lot of land, but land is becoming more scarce now compared to 10 years ago. So why a condominium, and why did you decide to develop a condominium at that time when the market was not yet ready for one?
Okay, real estate is a very long process. By the time you decide to do a project, and to the time that the project is done, it takes several years because first you need to analyze the place, then you need to design it, then you need to get the permits, then you need to build, then you need to sell. It's a very long process. So by the time you need to be ahead of the wave, let's say, like a surfer. Surfer doesn't wait that the wave already is there. He's looking for indication, idea that can tell him where the wave is going to be. So that's the same thing we have done in real estate in our business. We try to anticipate, reading the information, study the demographic, which city could have been the next wave city. And Cagayan was, according to us, one of these cities, because again, as I said, very progressive, very, very high. For example, at that time, I remember when I was studying Cagayan, I was impressed to learn that Cagayan access of internet, from people that were accessing access to internet at that point in time, 2008, 2009, was extremely high. I recall it was the second highest after Makati. So this was a very clear indication to me that people in Cagayan are very progressive and they're just waiting for something new. At that time, there were only house and lot. But you know, condominium is the new lifestyle, it's the new way to live. Things change, and also our lifestyle change. To invest in a house and to invest in condominium is completely different. In fact, many people were moving these critics to us. They were saying, in Cagayan, they only buy house and lot. But what I was saying is, if you want to buy a condominium, you don't look for a house and lot. As if you want to buy a house and lot, you don't look for condominium. It's a different product. Like if you want to buy a car, you want to
different product, different market.
Different product, different market. And we had the perception at the time that Cagayan was just ready for something new, and we were right. Not only because of the condominium, but also for the location. If you know, I mean, you know where our projects are in Uptown. And now I know as a fact that many people that I met after, they used to tell me, you know, when you were building your project in Uptown, there was almost nothing. No, there was only SM and
concentric.
Concentric in Pueblo, but nothing more. There was not too much action. And at the time, they were telling us, you know, nobody will buy a condo here because you are too far away from the city. But look now. I mean, Uptown is like BGC of Cagayan.
Yes, that's correct. I hear that a lot. Yeah, I hear that a lot. Like I also say that to my clients, that especially those who are not familiar with Cagayan de Oro, that the Uptown area, that's the BGC of Cagayan de Oro.
Yeah, it is. It's the expansion.
Yeah, and 10 years ago, like 2000 or 2008, 2009, the lots there in Pueblo Business Park were only about 8,000 to 9,000 per square. Now they are at 40,000 to 45,000 per square, and they're all sold out. No one is selling their lots there anymore.
Right. So it's just a matter of, be the first mover. When you are the first mover, you have many risks, but you also have many rewards if you are right. And we were right.
Yeah, and fast forward 10 years later, now there's around 16 condominium developments here in Cagayan, and more are coming. Not only downtown, but also uptown as well.
Yes, there are many condominiums, and when I find out that new developers are entering the market in Cagayan, I am happy because I think that competition is good for the market, is good for the developer, and I like to say, in Makati there are many buildings, no? So you create an environment where people want to stay. So when people ask me, are you concerned that new developers are coming and entering into the picture? Say, no, I'm happy, so that it will become a nice environment. We cannot be the only one, so it's great.
Yeah, each developer, like the more developers there are in one area, it will strengthen the real estate market of that area.
Correct. So that it's like if you have only one restaurant in a place, you may don't go there. But if you have several restaurants, people go there because they can choose the restaurant.
Yeah, that's correct. That's a good analogy. What about the ease of doing business in the Philippines? Like, for example, you're a foreigner. Did you have any trouble doing business here in the Philippines? Or is the way of doing business here very different from that in Italy?
I would say no, it's quite similar, and also I would say that Philippine is business friendly, at least according to my experience. I can only talk about my experience. The requirements to meet are several and sometimes quite difficult. Above all for developers, you need to secure a lot of permits. You need to relate with many LGUs. But that's good. And what is good is that once you have been comply, the release of permits is it's good, it's on time. And for businessmen, for companies, timeline is extremely important. You cannot risk to have a delay of a certain permit for, I don't know, 1 year, for example. It is happened in several countries. And in Cagayan, for example, also I would say that the city, the LGUs are extremely professional and they do their job well. So I cannot really complain. Actually, even when I'm in Italy and say, you should see how good it is to do business in the Philippines, how good it is to do business in Cagayan. Not small city. Now it's more than 1 million. I think million people living there, but I mean, I don't know, but it's 1 million, maybe even more. So it's good. It's good to do business, but again, you need to comply with requirements. That go without saying.
Yeah, that's correct. So what about your second project? So you're currently on track on developing your second project here in Cagayan de Oro. So can you tell us a little bit more about that project? What difference does it have between Primavera Residences, which is your first project? What makes it better?
Okay, so every it's like when you have many kids, you love all of them the same way. For me, so every project of IDC, I love it like in the same way. Primavera Residences was our first project, as you mentioned, and Primavera City is our second, and not last one in Cagayan. We will have more projects there. We are there to stay. Primavera City is just much bigger, because as you know, when it's going to be completed, we are talking about 4 phases. We are talking about maybe more than 1,200 units that will be developed in 7 buildings, and the last one is going to be a high-rise. It's still the project has been designed following the same principle and guidelines of passive green design strategies. So what we do is we try to increase natural ventilation, shading the facade. We also produce a certain amount of power through solar photovoltaic panels located on the rooftop, which also shade the shade the amenities. We also have water recycling. We are going to have also orchard on the rooftop. This is quite an innovation in the Philippines. We have several features that some were present in Primavera Residences, some are new. So it's like upgrading the project. Just a few days ago, we got the occupancy permit of Primavera City Phase 1. So turnover is starting. We are very happy about it because it was not really easy, to cope with construction, pandemic at this moment in time. But we have done, so the project is ready to turn over. And this is Primavera City Phase 1. By the way, both projects, Primavera Residences and Primavera City, have been awarded as the best mixed-use buildings by the Southeast Asia Property Award, Primavera Residences in Singapore, Primavera City in Kuala Lumpur, in the Philippines.
Congratulations on your awards.
Yeah, that's quite an achievement. We were competing with the big guys, so for us that we are small in some way, we are not so big like our competitors or some of our competitors. It was quite an achievement, and it's a proof that we do our job with passion and we deliver our commitment. So Primavera City Phase 1 under turnover, and Primavera City Phase 2 under construction.
Yeah, and Phase 2 is, the target turnover for Phase 2 is gonna be in 2-3 years?
I think around 2 years.
Around 2 years.
2 to 2 years. Sorry, I don't remember exactly the deadline.
For the high-rise building, since you mentioned it's 6 condominiums plus 1 high-rise building, what will you be putting in your high-rise building?
Okay, we are already talking with some potential partners. The idea is to have mixed condominium and also hotel or service apartment run by an international brand. So that this will also give prestige to the entire development. It's going to be like the red ribbon, the ribbon on the cake. It's going to be a best conclusion of our project Primavera City. So I think it's going to be a mixed kind of development.
they also say that green buildings are not about buildings, they're about people. So is it more expensive to build a green building? And what are the advantages of staying in a green project, in a green building, compared to a regular one? Because I think you're the only developer with a green building theme here in Cagayan de Oro.
Okay, I think we are the only one in residential mixed use, because if I'm not wrong, there are another couple of projects that are green buildings. I'm not going to mention the name, there are, but I don't think they are residential and or mixed use. So the difference between a green building and a regular building is that the green building saves energy, saves water. In short, reduces the footprint of the building. So it impacts less on the environment. Both on the construction phase that in the lifespan of the building. When you ask, is more expensive to build a green building rather than a regular building? It depends. The way we do it, there are two kinds of green buildings, the active one and the passive one. The active green buildings are buildings that have a lot of high technological features, appliances like special windows, special aircon, special lighting, a lot of special high-tech feature, and obviously they cost a lot of money to build. And so this overcost is passed through the end user. So the answer is yes, it's much more expensive. But when we talk about passive green buildings like the ones we build, it's more about the design. So what do is we study the weather condition of the place where the building is going to be built, such as wind speed, wind direction, temperature during the year, raining precipitation, and sun path. We design the building in such a way that the building works accordingly to the weather condition, like a plant. Okay, it will optimize the condition. For example, we shade the facade so the sun doesn't hit in the hottest hour of the day the windows, so we don't have the greenhouse effect inside. Temperature is maintained low. Or we have cross ventilation, so you have inside a temperature that is lower because you have like a natural fan. We reduce water consumption. All those things are more on the design phase rather than in the construction phase. The construction is quite typical to any kind of construction. It's more about the design. So I can proudly say that the units of IDC do not cost more than other units in similar buildings that are not green. And by the way, I would like to highlight that the buildings of IDC are rated green by EDGE. EDGE is a green rating system developed by the World Bank Group through IFC, International Finance Corporation. Because nowadays there are a lot of developers that are saying that buildings are green, or a lot of services and products they say they are green, but
so there's actually an organization that rates your building if it's really green or not.
Absolutely. So customers, end users, buyers must be very aware about this. Check for the certification given to a certain building to make sure that your building is green, if it's promoted as green.
Okay, let us go back to your first project, Primavera City, since it was your first project overall. Did you have any challenges, or what were the challenges that you encountered in building and also in selling out your first project?
Okay, sorry, Primavera Residences was our first project. Primavera City is the second one.
Yeah, Primavera Residences, your first project.
Yes. Of course, it was the first project. We were a startup company. It was very difficult to have credit, you know what I mean? To have also people that believe in the buildings because of the reason I said earlier, because it was a green building in the island of Mindanao, in the city of Cagayan de Oro. So, I mean, it was a little, quite ahead of the time. Okay, so it wasn't easy. So it wasn't easy to find the investors, to convince banks, and also to familiarize with the environment. It took a little time. Also, real estate is a very material kind of business, correct? I mean, people want to see your building, correct? You can promote, you can commit, you can promise, but people are skeptical. Obviously, I would do the same when I have to buy something. So at the beginning, it was not so easy to convince people that we could have done and we could deliver our commitment. So this was the most difficult part. So because Primavera Residence is also two phases, building 1 and building 2. So building 1 was, I would say, more difficult to develop, and if I say to sell, even if it's not very difficult, because during construction, we didn't have track record. That's mostly the problem. So when building 1 was done and people saw that we were capable to deliver, building 2, phase 2 was a little easier in terms of finding financing and also in terms of selling it. And then step by step, year by year, the company grew, and we have been proven that we deliver our commitment. And that's the most important thing, I would say. That's why we are doing extremely well with other projects at the moment.
Yes, and you're even expanding to Manila. You have expanded to Manila with also another green condominium project.
Yes, correct. Miramonti Green Residences in Santo Tomas, Batangas. And we are going to have many more projects all around the country soon.
I saw the perspective, and it reminds me of the buildings that I see in Singapore, with the trees hanging on the building tops. So that's what it looked like to me. It looked like a Singapore condominium or building.
Yes, people go to Singapore to see buildings. Nowadays, they can go to Cagayan and Santo Tomas and see beautiful buildings. No need to go to Singapore because I see this architecture in the Philippines.
Yeah, I hope you put more plants also within the building, because it's one of the things that I really like about Singapore. Even though it's a city, it's like a small city, there are so many trees inside their buildings, like hanging on the outside their buildings. So at least you can see a lot of greenery.
True. I also love to see green plants and bushes and flowers. I like that. I mean, it's beautiful and it makes the environment much more enjoyable.
Yes, much more enjoyable, more green, more relaxing. With Primavera Residences, your first project, what's the biggest lesson that you learned as an entrepreneur or as a new developer at the time?
Okay, first of all is that you cannot do anything by yourself. You can lead. You can lead by example. You can walk the talk and be very, very consistent with your values. Because at the end, you need the help of people that are working in the company, and you need their enthusiasm. You need them to go extra mile as I do. So the most important thing to me is people. I always say good companies are done by good people, and that's to me the best lesson I learned, that you need to have a good environment, you need to be transparent, you need to be open, you need to listen the people that are working with you, because anyone can have a good idea and everyone must speak up and tell their ideas, their inputs, because sometimes people are a little hesitant. People in a group, in a team, they're hesitant to tell you what they think, because they think they may be wrong. They may say something stupid. But I always tell everyone, please, speak your mind. Tell me, what do you think? I don't like to work with people. They always say yes, just because I'm
the yes man.
I don't like it. I mean, if I'm right, I like it. But I also like when I taught this to my people, and I have great people. I'm sure you know some of them in Cagayan, and I always tell them, without them I would be no one, because they were the one who gave me their time, their energy, their commitment, and to me that's the most important thing. People.
So it's really about teamwork.
Yes, yeah. And of course, customers is very important also.
Yeah, it reminds me of a quote. They said. A quote that says, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, lead a team.
True. I like that. True. You need to, you know what? people is us, correct? So I mean, you and I are people for other people, correct? So and I always think that I also try to put myself in the shoes of others and try to understand what could move me, what can, if I were somebody else, how I would like to see this. I would like to say that it's really very important, and people are smart. People are watching you and me, and we need to lead by example. That's to me the most important thing. Don't say something and do something else. Don't preach well and do something else.
I think you're talking about the vision, and that's leadership. That's leadership, like placing your vision in front of other people and influencing them so that they will follow you and push that vision.
Correct. I mean, of course, first of all, you need to believe in your vision. If you don't believe in your vision, very difficult to convince anybody else. So you don't have to convince yourself that you believe in your vision. You really need to believe in your vision. And then people feel that. They say, okay, it may be possible. Because believe me, the beginning, as you pointed out, was very difficult. I mean, we started, we were nobody. And also, you know, step by step, when you grow and you succeed, you also have enemies, you know, and people that talk bad, you know, they will not make it, they have no this, they have no that. And I always say to my people, the closest one, you know, don't listen to rumors. You always, always hear people talking good and talking bad. Don't just take care and don't talk bad about anybody, because our success doesn't depend, that it's not gonna be because we respond to critics. No. And by the way, it's different critics from clients. Critics from clients have to be heard, because that's very important. This is quality control. I always say to my people, don't get upset when somebody is not happy about some feature, something. You just listen and fix it, because it's making a favor to us.
Yes, that's correct. It's about being able to also filter between what's criticism and what's negative feedback, because we always need to be improving ourselves.
Yeah, you know, there was a saying of from Churchill, no? He used to say, if you stop to listen every dog that barks at you, you will never reach your goal. So I mean, we just go and do our job. We are not perfect. We try to be better every single day and learn. You know, we are not perfect. No one is.
Okay, so for my last question, what are the top 3 characteristics you believe that every entrepreneur should have?
First of all, I would say if you succeed, just be, how do you say, grounded with your
humility.
I mean, yes, I mean,
be humble.
Because, you know, there was another saying, be nice with the people that you will meet during your climbing up, when you climb up the stairs, because they're going to be the same one that you will meet, assuming you are going to climb down the stairs, you know? Life is like that, you never know. So just be nice and don't think you do everything well. First one. Second, listen people, you know. I remember some of the people working with me in Cagayan, during meetings now, because I like to say, okay, what do you think? And then I try, of course, to find a way, you know, to find a solution. I want to listen to everybody. Somebody used to tell me, you know, sir, you are the first boss that is so democratic. You want to listen to everyone before you take a decision. This is very weak for us. But for me, that's a solution. I mean, listen, because 10 minds can think better than I do, because I have one mind. So I am just a facilitator. So be a facilitator. I don't like to be too bossy. I like to listen. And even because I think that if you command too much, if you are too bossy, you don't achieve great results. That's my way of doing business. I like to listen. I like to learn. Always have apprentice mind. Learn from everyone. Number 3 is be consistent, because I mean the path to success is, and by the way, we did well, but I cannot say, you know, we succeed and so I can sit down. Our life in the company is still very challenging, and be consistent again, because the path to success is not a straight line. It's a very difficult path, and so just be balance with and be okay with your soul, with your values. Values is very important to me.
Okay, very well said. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Nati. So there you have it, the CEO of Italpinas. Thank you so much to everybody who was able to watch this episode. And as always, I will see you in the next episode only here at the Home Show Unlimited.
Thank you very much. See you soon.
See you!